Guy just raised $30 million with zero employees. His AI ran the full fundraise for him. I'm Bhaskaran. I spent the last few days inside Polsia, the platform behind it. I will show you what works, what doesn't, and how it went with our own build. Let's get started. Polsia is an AI agent company. It's run by one person. They recently raised $30 million at $250 million valuation. So let's get started. When I put polsia.com, it straight away comes to the landing page, and the landing page is quite different to the traditional landing pages that we see. What's fascinating to me is the first one, how this is, what it is working on, similar to what we can see it in the terminal. It's making competitive research, it's creating UGC videos and all those, fixing security holes, which is really interesting, right? So that's what it is about Polsia, and it's an AI that runs your whole company. So what do we do in this particular video? What I'm planning to do is, I would like to give you a quick glimpse of what Polsia is, about Polsia, and then I have created some application, a business using Polsia as well. I will go through what happened with my idea and how it took that idea to in working, and then what it does. So in that area, so we'll discuss about the business and my idea as a reference, and then also we'll discuss about marketing, and then the settings, whatever they have in terms of the settings, what are the possibilities that we can do with Polsia. And also I will talk about the negatives. I won't say as a negative, just things that are not available right now with Polsia. And also, it's as an entrepreneur, when you're running a business, those things are critical, and also we'll talk about that. Let's move to start about what's Polsia. Polsia, like I said, it's a one-person company. That's what they claim. They raised a big round, and which created a lot of noise in social media, particularly in Twitter and then around YouTube and wherever you see. Let's go more into that. And if I click this, watch Polsia work on 8,683 companies live, and you can see that this is like a dashboard, right? So a dashboard for a company like Polsia. See, even if you're going to create any new company inside Polsia, you always have this particular kind of a dashboard. But the one that we are seeing right now, this is for Polsia itself. I can't verify the figures or anything, but this is what they claim. I know they have an annual run rate of $10 million with a weak growth rate, and which is impressive. And we always see the growths as month over month or year over year, but for AI companies we see, it's maybe it can be like day over day, or here it's week over week. And you can see in the middle how the ARR has been raised in the past 3 months, and also in the center you can see all the tasks that it's running right now. Currently it's doing all the research, engineering, and also all the things related to as a task. So you can see that also it has completed like 8,000 tasks in the past 24 hours. This is for Polsia, and also it created so many companies. For Polsia, the main work is to create companies for the customers. Let's say I want to create a company, right? I can go and create a company in Polsia, and you can see that recently it created companies for Growth, Forge OS, Acosin Group. So all these are names, it create random, sometimes all the names that given by the customers, which is really interesting, right? It created like almost 2,000 companies in the past 24 hours. And documents, whenever it does any task, so it create the documents and do the research, and it creates like the documents that we can refer to. So it always do the market research and the mission, what's the mission of the company, and the other materials that it needs, and also it do the research on the ads, how many ads that it can run, everything, right? So that's on the center. But if you go to the right, where we have all the things related to the marketing, like the Twitter, where it creates the tweet and then launching some new companies. So whenever Polsia create any new company for a customer, they have an automation that runs, put that in their own X account, and about this company has been created. So it's 4 seconds ago, 22 seconds ago, it's creating companies, which is interesting, right? It put like 3,000 tweets, almost 3,000 tweets in the past 24 hours. And email, this is more related to the cold email. So cold email, this is to companies who are more relevant, right? So, or to customers who are more relevant. Maybe who wants to create a company, who's the customers of Polsia, right? So it's anyone who's want to be an entrepreneur, anyone who's a founder, they want to create a company. So those are the people they will reach out to. It's sending out emails to all those users, and it sent around almost 4,000 emails in the past 24 hours, cold emails. And the impressive part is it also runs ads automatically. So you can see that it running UGC ads, creates the videos automatically, and then it runs the ad in Meta, Google. And you can see the person who is running Polsia, Ben, I guess he set a daily budget of $6,000, and it has spent so far $122. And it's running out and it's creating ads, it's spending some money on particular UGC, and also it's creating the impressions, clicks, and it will figure out what's the click-through rate and how many people are clicking ad based on the impressions and the clicks, which is really impressive. It's all running automatic. That's what they claim, and we agents running in the back. Yeah, this is what it is about. It's Polsia, like what they do and where they are at. Let's go and let's get started on this. But let's see. Okay, we have two options, right? One, either to create a new company or grow my company. I already have a business, and I can just go and grow my company. I can put my company domain, and then I can continue and then go, and what it does, it goes and research your company, what you do, and then it helps your business to automate. That's what it do. And let's say the second option is create a new company. I don't have an idea, right? So but I have, it's more about creating a new company, but I have an idea or I don't have an idea. And there is always create a new company. Surprise me is like, I want to just try out how this platform works, or based on what my profile is, then I can just say that I surprise me, or I have an option to build my own idea as well. So what I did was I just clicked surprise me. I didn't give anything at all. So I just gave my mail ID, and what it does was it goes and find out who this person is, what he is doing, and then about the company and what this company does, and who are my competitors, and everything it does. So let me open my account, and let's see what it does and what it doesn't, and we'll go through it. I got the link, and I'm just logging into. So what we'll do is, let me go back to the whimsical that we want to go through it. So I will go through by the business, and in the business side, when I say business side, okay, you want to run your business, and of course you want a couple of things, right? To make a sustainable business, you need money, and of course that's a payment, and also the team to run it. But I don't say it's super important right now with what everyone is claiming to do. It just but still, if you have a team and then you want to come and add them, you should be able to do it. So let's start with the business and the marketing, and then I will go through the settings and the negatives. And on the business side, if I'm going to my account, so let's see what it does. See, right now what it does was it created an account for me, which is CodeFlow. How it did that, I gave my personal email, and then it goes and find out, okay, this is Bhaskaran and Manimohan, and it found that I have my own agency called Close Future, and where we build tech products. And what it does was it understands what tools that we use and who are our competitors and everything. And it thought that our idea is about we can have an app similar to Lovable. So we can have like something like app builder. So we can provide that to the users, our customers, so that they can build it, right? So that's the idea that it thought. So what it does, so it created a company called CodeFlow in automatic. So what I did was I didn't give any idea. I just said surprise me. So that's what it did. It really surprised me because it understands everything about me, and then it thought it could be an idea for me. And in the left hand side, that is what I'm talking about on the business. You have an option to subscribe, right? Subscribe of $49 per month, or also you can keep your site online. And we will discuss about the payment, but then on the business, you always have an option to attach your payments. But before that, you need to have set be on the subscription. Once you got the subscription or a trial period, there is a trial period of 3 days. You can do that, and right now once you've done, there is an option to attach to Stripe. So that's what you can do. And to get the payments, if you're attaching it to your business, you can have the option to get the payments through that. But it's your own payment, it's not going to anywhere. But also have an option to add teams, if you have multiple team members inside, and you can add them to just come to the Polsia, and then manage the task, and manage the cold email and the ads. I don't think they can manage, it's all the AI agent, but still you can add your team member to come and see it, right? So that's specifically on the business. And second one that I want to talk about is the marketing, right? So marketing wise, what it does, what's impressive was it just created a website for me. It created a website called CodeFlow. Right now so once it creates a company, it created an automatic tweet, and then it put it in their own account, the Polsia account. But what's impressive was it created a landing page for me, and then it's good. But of course, problem would be which I will talk about, customize. It's just automatic in every way, but the problem is how do we able to customize, because based on what I want, that's where it lacks. We will discuss more later as well. Yeah, it quickly put a landing page for me so that I can track the list of users. That's why there are like 8 visitors. I don't know who. Mostly it's going to be me because I opened the page multiple times. So that could be one of the reasons. But yeah, so it creates the task automatically, and but also on the marketing side, and like I said, it puts the tweet automatic. We have a landing page which is organic growth, and but I also have an option to attach my custom domain. For me, something like breakout.ai, and I can do that. I can come and attach my domain to that. So, and then also there is this email part, but right now it just sent an email to me. But if I want to do cold outreach, I can. Right now they say it's under maintenance, but the thing is that yeah, so it also do the research automatic, go and find the list of customers that are relevant to my company, and then do the cold outreach. And also there is an run ads as well, which is, I think we discussed about on the Polsia. I haven't run any ads, but most of the things that I learned about from the X and everywhere, it's running ads, but also the problem everywhere, it's about the control. How do you have your control in running your own company, right? It's your own idea, it's your own company, and you need to have the control, because there is also a risk of a reputation, right? So if you're doing cold outreach, you need to reach out to the correct customers, and also at the same time in the correct way, and it's about what you're going to say it in the copy and everything, right? So those are not be able to customize, so which is, I think, the negative, which I will also explain to you later. But yeah, so that's what mostly about marketing, which is what it's doing is amazing, in terms of the cold emailing, ads, and also the putting out a website. And another thing that I want to talk about, of course, it's about the task. It's create automatic, and what it does was it created me a summary about what I did, and then the key findings. Every day it creates a summary of what it does. Right, so also it did a competitive research about my competitors, and who are a competitor to me, and then and it does a good research about what they do and everything, right? So it's good, it's impressive, but like I said, the most critical part is like customization, and I want more, I want better, and I want according to my style. So those things are lacking. I can have the option to add my own domain as well. So this is impressive. And also one more feature that if we go to the settings, right, so I can create new company, new portfolio, and there is a credit as well. And one more thing that I really like is they have all the information once I build the company, but also they gave an option to download code, which it created a landing page. I can be able to go and download the code as well if I want to go outside of Polsia. That's one thing is good, but still it's okay. The landing pages are okay. I can go and build it outside. We are not stuck with that kind of a code, because right now product building is much democratized, right? So that is one. But yeah, mostly this is what my experience. It's okay, it's good, it's really impressive in terms of how you can run it in terms of the agent. Every operation that you can do with agents, everything automatic. But the one specific thing that I want to talk about, it's no control, right? The negatives about this Polsia, or like anyone who want to run a company inside that, it's just that I feel like, personally I feel I don't have much control, because as an entrepreneur I want to have more control in running the business, right? So that's one. It's just that no control around marketing copy, or like how the ads are run, what's the UGC, and how the videos are created, and even if I want to improve, how can I improve, right? So yeah, so the task and how the tasks are run as well, most of them are automatic, so I would like to have more control as well. So that's where it lacks. It just have no control over my product, what I'm planning to build. And also it's about how it's going to do any complex application. That's where also the criticality comes, because it said for me the product is Codeflow. Codeflow is about what it's going to do is it's going to create a competitor to Lovable. Just imagine the complexity around building an app similar to Lovable. It requires so much effort, so much security, so much scalability, and we need a proper team around that. So I can't trust on that, right? So those are critical things, but apart from that, I think this is going to be changing a lot of things about how we are going to build a business, how we are going to build a product, everything around it. So yeah, that's my experience around Polsia. Please like, comment, and share our video, because this will reach more users, and anyone who wants to build a product around this. And then please subscribe to our channel to get more AI updates. Thank you.